Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. Giant waves was suddenly formed on the spacious magma sea. A 10,000 feet large whirlpool was slowly formed on the surface of the sea of magma. There seemed to be something appearing from the end of the whirlpool. A kind of mysterious fluctuation rippled throughout the place. The unexpected occurrence that had happened on the magma attracted the attention of many. Immediately, a shocked expression surged on their faces. Xiao Yan's eyes were grave as they looked at the churning magma whirlpool below. A rich caution rose deep within his eyes. He did not forget that there was a mysterious creature guarding the ancient god mansion. If that thing came charging out, there was no predicting what kind of drastic change would occur in this battle. While Xiao Yan had poured all of his attention into staring at the magma whirlpool, the space a short distance behind him suddenly shook. A miserable old figure appeared. The dense deathly aura, which had originally covered his body, had faded greatly. Clearly, he was seriously injured. He is actually still alive. Xiao Yan turned his head after detecting this person. He looked at the weary old man, and a surprise involuntarily flashed across his eyes. However, a cold smile appeared after his eyes swept towards a figure grabbed in Han Tianxing's hand. That fellow with an unknown fate was naturally Han Yuantian. Xiao Yan had used over a dozen extermination fire lotus and explode the deathly silence gate. With the superimposition of the two, the destructive force created was frightening enough to cause only to tremble from a feeling a chill. Even though Han Yuantian duo were 8-star elite Do Sheng, they still ended up with one dead and one seriously injured. Han Xingtian, who had appeared, spat out a mouthful of fresh blood before looking at Xiao Yang a short distance away with a terrified face. Although there was still a vicious expression flashing in his eyes, he also understood that he was likely unable to fight with Xiao Yang in his current condition. He immediately clenched his teeth and dragged his seriously injured body and quickly withdrew. Xiao Yang glanced at Han Tianxing, who had escaped, but did not give chase. Although he had schemed and managed to seriously injure one party while killing the other, the exhaustion he had experienced could also not be underestimated. Moreover, the Qiushi ancient god mansion was about to appear. Most of his attention was diverted to it. Even though Han Xingtian was able to escape, he was unable to participate in the battle. Splash splash! The huge magma whirlpool rotated with an increasingly great intensity. Earth-shaking splashing sound reverberated across the sky. Bang! A loud sound suddenly appeared in the sky. Soon after, miserable figures pulled back. Two of them were in an extreme dire state. The deathly aura that lingered over them had almost completely disappeared. Their fighting strength had also become much weaker. It was really a joke for them to block Ji Yuan with their strength. As long as the attack from that kind of expert managed to make even the slightest contact with them, they would end up being seriously injured. Nihility, sir, we cannot stop him. The two individuals with deathly aura around them had pale faces, as they looked at the Nihility devouring flame beside them, who had a somewhat chaotic black flame, and cried out. The black flame within the Nihility devouring flame's eyes rippled slightly. Some dissatisfaction flashed across his eyes. It was unexpected that he was still unable to fight against Ji Yuan despite his soul having advanced to the D state. Ji Yuan also appeared a short distance from the trio. His eyes were cold and indifferent as they glanced at them. If it was not because the soul of the Nihility devouring flame had reached the DI state, he would have already killed the other two. Otherwise, how could they have been allowed to remain alive until now? However, he also understood that the reason the Nihility devouring flame had fought with all their strength was merely to obstruct him. Han Tiendi. Xiao Yan lifted his head. He looked at the figure controlling the Qiu ancient god jade. A cold glint flashed across his eyes as he stepped forward. The space fluctuated and he appeared behind Han Tiendi. A world tide surged. Finally, it turned into a huge tidal palm that fiercely smashed towards Han Tiendi. Bang! Han Tiendi laughed loudly in the face of Xiao Yan's attack. A palm was struck forward and the space was shattered. He directly received Xiao Yan's palm strike head-on. Xiao Yan, it's too late. Next, let's wait for the Qiu ancient god mansion to appear. Han Tiendi swiftly pulled back. His hand was still tightly grabbing onto the Qiu ancient hod jade. Xiao Yan's expression sunk as he heard Han Tiendi's words. His eyes glanced at the magma sea below and found that the whirlpool on the magma sea had suddenly expanded 10 times. Bang bang bang. After the whirlpool was expended, a 10,000 feet large magma fire pillar suddenly spat out from the magma sea in all directions. Many from both parties were caught in it. The extreme heat and offensive strength immediately resulted in deaths from both parties. Han Tiendi revealed an increasing wild joy in his eyes as he looked at the giant waves appearing on the surface of the magma. He could detect that the Qiu ancient god jade in his hand had suddenly become strangely hot. Splash! The 10,000 feet large magma wave rose suddenly, before it came smashing down ruthlessly. It caused magma to splash across the sky. That rapidly rotating magma whirlpool also gradually slowed. A huge magma began to protrude from the surface of the magma sea as the rotation speed slowed. Bright red magma scattered. After which, an ancient stone door slowly rose from the magma and stood in the sky in front of the many heated pairs of eyes. The magma on the stone door swiftly disappeared. An ancient and desolate aura immediately filled this world. Everything was silence under this aura. Even those as strong as Xiao Yan or Han Tiendi felt a terror from within their hearts. It was an aura that stood above this world. Countless pairs of eyes gathered onto the ancient stone door. Finally, these eyes focused on the 3 ancient words on the stone door. Ancient God Mansion. Han Tiendi's eyes had unleashed a terrifying light at this moment. Even his calmness, his heart involuntarily pounded when he personally saw the words that he had pursued for thousands of years. I have finally found you, Han Tiendi muttered to himself. Finally, he involuntarily faced the sky and laughed wildly. His laughter was like thunder as it reverberated across the sky. Is this the legendary ancient god cave? Xiao Yan was a little absent-minded. He was startled as he looked at the ancient stone door that stood quietly on the magma. The aura on it allowed him to understand that this was not some fake object. Instead, it was a genuine Do-Di object. Only something that was left behind by the legendary Do-Di could cause him to feel extremely frightened. Xiao Yan recovered a moment later, after seeing the quiet and unmoving ancient stone door. His eyes contained a somewhat complicated feeling. The 8 ancient clans had engaged in multiple chaotic battles for this ancient god mansion. It was unexpected that it could be summoned thousands of years later, when only 4 of the 8 clans remained. The enormous ancient stone door stood on the magma. Everyone appeared exceptionally tiny in front of its giant size. In their eyes, this stone door appeared as though it belonged to another world and was unusually mysterious. Xiao Yan let out a long breath. Although this was already the second time he had seen the ancient stone door, there was still some shock in his heart. He could detect that the closer he was to the stone door, the greater the pressure he felt. Based on his guess, there was likely very few people amongst everyone present who could head to the front of the stone door. The ancient god cave has already appeared. It is likely that Han Tiendi will act to snatch the embryonic DI pill. However, Why has that mysterious creature not appeared? A light flashed within Xiao Yan's eyes as they cautiously swept over the magma sea. Due to the appearance of the ancient stone door, the entire sea region seemed to have been enveloped by a strange pressure. Under this pressure, even Xiao Yan's de-state soul was unable to probe the activity within the magma. Han Tiendi inhaled a couple of deep breaths as he stood in the sky. Only then did he suppressing the churning emotions within his heart. Immediately, he slowly raised the Chu-Shi ancient god jade in his hand. The ancient jade vaguely had a light flowing over it. During the time that a light was flickering over the ancient jade, there also seemed to be a light flickering over the tightly shut ancient stone wall. That ancient door, which had been tightly shut for 10,000 years, seemed to show signs of being about to open. Han Tiendi seemed to rejoice upon seeing this scene. Before he could open his stride and advance, a figure came hurrying over and attempted to snatch the ancient jade from his hand. Jiu Yuan, are you unable to hold back any longer? Han Tiendi laughed coldly upon seeing this. His body flashed and he appeared in the distance, dodging Jiu Yuan in the process. How can it be so simple to open the mansion? Jiu Yuan laughed coldly. His body flashed again, and it closely followed Han Tiendi like a shadow. It did not give him any time to open the mansion. You? Murderous intent surged within Han Tiendi's eyes, as he saw Jiu Yuan continued to pester him. His strength was comparable to that of Jiu Yuan. If the latter insist on pestering him, he would really be unable to divert his attention. Many pairs of eyes looked at the two light figures that seemed to be moving together in the sky. All of them could only clench their hands and stare. They were unable to intervene in a fight on that level. Splash, splash. Xiao Yan glanced at the battle in the sky. His ears suddenly moved as he heard some intense magma churning sound. Immediately, he turned his eyes towards the sea of magma, only to see that it was calm and seemingly void of ripples. This scene caused Xiao Yan to frown. However, he did not shift his eyes away. His gaze stared intently at the surface of the magma. This silence continued for a couple of minutes, before he suddenly shrank his eyes. A stern cry sounded, "Get far away from the magma. Hurry!" 100,000 feet giant wave suddenly rose on the calm magma sea as this sharp cry sounded. Soon after, an earth-shaking roar resounded over this place in a mighty fashion. The expressions of Jiu Yuan and Han Tiendi changed abruptly after this roar that seemed to have originated from the ancient times was emitted. This aura was actually not weaker than them. Ha 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 ha, this emperor is finally able to see the sky again. The 100,000 feet magma shot to the sky as a ferocious aura, which caused the weather to change, erupted from within the sea of magma. The bright red magma seemed to have devoured the world. At a glance, it appeared as though the entire world was filled by 100,000 feet magma. A terrifyingly high temperature had turned this entire world into a furnace. Both armies were forced to hastily withdraw because of the monstrous huge magma wave. Many pairs of eyes were shocked as they looked under the magma. At this moment, even they were able to sense an extremely terrifying creature hidden under the sea of magma. Jiu Yuan and Han Tiendi had also halted because of this scene. Their eyes cautiously looked towards the magma sea. Even they could sense a danger under its powerful aura. It seems that Xiao Yan is indeed right. There is indeed a mysterious creature guarding the ancient god mansion. Jiu Yuan's face was solemn as his eyes flickered. Rumble. The magma waterfall that rose to the air descended abruptly and landed into the magma sea. It turned into a huge wave that quickly spread apart and covered the distant mountain. With the fall of the giant wave, a huge creature suddenly rose from within the sea of magma. Although it was only a small portion of the creature's body, it was still extremely big. The mysterious creature's head, which vaguely contained a ferocious and pressuring aura, rose from under the magma and looked at the many people in the sky. Those huge eyes had a surprise flashing across them. It is unexpected that there is really someone who has obtained the Qiu ancient god jade and summoned the ancient god mansion from that damn place. The mysterious creature's huge eyes swept over the sky. Finally, they paused on Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi duo. Although there were many people in this world, only these two were worthy of being treated seriously by him. Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi's eyes were grave and cautious as they looked at the mysterious creature. Even with the experience that the both of them had, they were still unable to identify this enormous creature. After all, they had only seen a small section of this mysterious creature. I am the clan head of the Jiyu clan, Jiyu Yuan. May I know who? Jiyu Yuan cupped his hands together towards this mysterious creature and spoke in a deep voice. Hun Tiandi by the side was also afraid that Jiyu Yuan would cooperate with that mysterious creature. Immediately, he cupped his hands together and uttered his identity. His tone was exceptionally courteous. Jiyu clan. Hun clan. It seems like two factions that were not considered big back then. It is unexpected that you are able to obtain the Qiu ancient god jade. That mysterious creature emitted a deafening roar after hearing the both of them speak. It caused the surface of the magma to rise and formed many magma fire pillars. Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi were startled upon hearing these words. Based on those words, it seemed that this creature had existed for a long time. Tens of thousands of years ago, the Hun clan and the Jiyu clan were indeed not considered some top factions. Who has summoned the ancient god mansion? Come to think of it, this emperor does owe him a favor, that mysterious creature once again asked without being concerned about the shock of those two. Jiyu Yuan and Hun Tiandi had a change of expression upon hearing this. The formers became uglier while the latter rejoiced. Ha ha, this friend, the ancient jade is in my hand. Naturally, only I am able to summon the ancient god mansion. Hun Tiandi stepped forward and laughed. The mysterious creature glanced at Hun Tiandi. Suddenly, an intense light surged. Immediately, its incomparably huge body suddenly shrunk. Within a short instant, it had turned into a purple golden-haired middle-aged man. He lifted his head. Those eyes of his were filled with a rich pressure, as they stared at Hun Tiandi. He laughed faintly and said, I have received your favor and ought to aid you. However, I currently have other things to do. Therefore, we will settle this in the future. Jiyu Yuan quickly sighed in relief, while the face of Hun Tiandi, by the side involuntarily twitched. A chill flowed deep within those eyes. If it was not because he was afraid of the terrifying strength of the mysterious person, it was likely that he would have already given the order to kill it. That middle-aged man ignored Hun Tiandi after he finished speaking. His golden eyes suddenly swept over the sky. After which, they paused on one of the figures. An icy cold expression immediately flashed across both of his eyes. Xiao Yan in the sky wore a cautious expression. His face was slightly altered after he saw that this mysterious person had actually threw his eyes towards him. Could it be that this fellow still remembered him? Rat, come over. The middle-aged man looked towards Xiao Yan. He extended his large hand and a dragon roar appeared. Subsequently, a golden large claw broke through the air and struck towards Xiao Yan. Damn it! Xiao Yan's expression became unusually ugly after he saw that this fellow had simply attacked as he liked. His body hurriedly pulled back. At the same time, a spiritual figure appeared. The yellow spring divine anger was also quickly unleashed. The spiritual sonic wave ruthlessly smashed onto the large golden claw. However, the latter did not move. Mister, may I know how has Xiao Yan offended you? Jiyu Yuan's expression also changed upon seeing this scene. He hurriedly cried out. Humph, my target is him alone. I will fight you if you intervene. The mysterious person cried out in an icy cold voice after hearing Xiao Yuan's cry. He had detected the scent of his child from Xiao Yan's blood a couple of days ago. That bloodline strength was unique to their tribe. Yet, Xiao Yan was clearly a genuine human when one looked at him. In that case, there was only one answer. He had once devoured and refined his child's bloodline strength. His child might have even been killed by this person. The ferocious expression within this mysterious person's eyes had become extremely dense the moment he thought of this. Ha ha, Xiao Yuan, it seems that even the heavens aren't helping you. Han Qiandi was also startled because of this scene. However, he quickly recovered and involuntarily laughed out loud. Xiao Yuan's face was furious green. Although he was unaware of why this mysterious person would target Xiao Yang, the latter was ultimately a member of the Alliance army. Moreover, Xiao Yang was also Xiao Yuan's son-in-law. Naturally, it was impossible for Xiao Yuan to simply watch him be killed by this mysterious person. He immediately cried out furiously, "Stop him!" Lei Ying and the rest from the Alliance army clenched their teeth upon hearing Xiao Yuan's voice. They could only summon their courage and attack. Xiao Yang was not an ordinary character. He was not someone whom they could simply abandon. Hence, they could not choose to stand idly by the side and do nothing. Humph! Rushing wind sound appeared from around the mysterious person as the latter attacked Xiao Yang. The mysterious person snorted coldly. He suddenly lifted his head. A roar, which caused even the world to tremble, wildly swept apart. Bang bang! Lei Ying, who had just charged forward, had not have the time to attack when he was struck by the terrifying sonic wave. Immediately, he was shot backwards. Blood continuously churned in his body while his face was covered with shock. Rat, hand over your life. That mysterious figure flashed and appeared in front of Xiao Yang, who was pulling back. His hand grabbed towards Xiao Yang's head. Bang! A huge 9-colored light suddenly flashed across the sky when the mysterious person was attacking. It surrounded Xiao Yang's body and quickly withdrew. 9-colored heaven-swallowing python. It is unexpected that there are still heaven-swallowing pythons still existing in this world. That mysterious person was startled because of this scene. His eyes looked at the 9-colored giant python in the sky and exclaimed in surprise. Gold Emperor incinerating heaven execution. The golden flame spread throughout the sky amidst a roar. Finally, it turned into a golden light beam that was tens of thousands of feet in size. Finally, it smashed ruthlessly towards that mysterious person. Bang! The mysterious person threw a punch forward in the face of this attack. That ordinary palm wind immediately shattered the light ray when the punch was thrown. Insignificant attack. The punch shattered the ray of light. That mysterious person smiled faintly. Immediately, his golden eyes looked towards Xiao Yang in the distance. He opened his stride and appeared in front of the latter in a ghost-like fashion. You won't be able to escape. The ferocious expression within the mysterious person's eyes suddenly soared as he looked at Xiao Yang, who was a short distance away. Purple gold light appeared. After which, it struck towards Xiao Yang and Zun beside him. Go! The light came striking over. After which, the surrounding space was directly sealed. Xiao Yang's expression changed drastically. Immediately, a crazy expression suddenly rose into his eyes. His palm smashed onto Zun beside him and a huge force shattered the area around the light seal. His body began to swell rapidly. He was actually planning on self-destructing his physical body. Although the self-destruct of one's physical body would not lead to one's death once one reached Xiao Yang's level, it would still result in an extremely great harm. It might even affect Xiao Yan's foundation. However, he did not have any choice at this moment. Don't. Zana's expression quickly paled after seeing this scene. Her originally cool and cold voice had suddenly become sharp. Damn brat, you are really ruthless. That mysterious person was also startled by Xiao Yang's ruthlessness. However, his attack did not weaken. Xiao Yang's body swelled rapidly. Just when his body was about to collapse, a light seal on his hand suddenly unleashed a brilliant luster. The dragon seal Zi Yang had left on him allowed the both of them to detect if the other was in a dangerous situation. Xiao Yang, don't self-destruct. An anxious female voice was suddenly emitted from within the flickering light seal. After which, a bright golden light suddenly surged from the dragon seal. It quickly wrapped around Xiao Yang's body and suppressed his symptoms of being about to self-destruct. The space in front of Xiao Yang swiftly split and formed a huge crack line after Xiao Yang's self-destruct was suppressed. Bright golden light erupted. Finally, it turned into a huge golden dragon. The dragon curled and swiftly wrapped around Xiao Yang. Zi Yang, give way. Xiao Yang's expression changed drastically after he saw the huge dragon, which had suddenly broke out from the space. Given Zi Yang's strength, her body would be instantly shattered into a pool of blood if that attack firmly struck onto her body. Hum. The large purple gold seal, which was filled with a terrifying strength, suddenly appeared above the head of the huge dragon in front of the shocked eyes of the Alliance army and the wild joy of the Hun clan. However, the huge seal suddenly halted just when everyone thought that blood would splatter. The light seal rapidly collapsed. Light shot out in all directions and shone onto that mysterious person's face. His body had begun to shudder, as though he was suffering from a stroke. Child. This video will end here.